All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. 7:30. Good evening, everybody. In the absence of our mayor, I am going to chair this meeting tonight. We wish her a speedy recovery. Welcome to the Higham Ferris Town Council virtual meeting. There are a few housekeeping things to note. As with meetings in the town hall, members of the public will be given the opportunity to speak during public participation, but will not be permitted to speak at other times, and their microphones will be muted. The clerk has the ability to mute or remove anyone who does cause a nuisance, but of course, we hope that this won't be necessary. It is impossible to hear if everybody speaks at once, so that we have some order. I'd be grateful if you could speak one at a time and raise your virtual hand if you'd like to speak. Voting will be by raising your hand. This meeting is being recorded. Okay, thank you very much. First, we have, do we have any apologies at all?
Yes. Yeah, Councillor Tina Reevy, Councillor Derek Lawson, Councillor Anna Saunson and Councillor David Hamblin.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we can move on to item 2, declarations of interest. And this is to receive declarations of disclosable pecuniary interests and other interests and the nature of those interests relating to items on the agenda. Does anybody have any interest to declare? No? Okay, thank you. We move on to item 3 then, please. Minutes. This is to approve and sign as a correct record the minutes of the meeting held on the 23rd of February. That's on your agendas, pages 1 to 6. Does anybody have any questions on the minutes? Do we have a proposer to propose that we thank you, Councillor Gardner, and a seconder, Councillor Brown. All in favour? Anybody against? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I'll sign those and return them to the town hall tomorrow. Is that, well, there won't be anybody there, but I'll put them through the letterbox, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. If we can move on to item 4, which is the public forum. This is to allow any member of the public to address the meeting for a period of no longer than 3 minutes. If the item raised by the member of the public is not on the agenda, the clerk will advise how the issue will be addressed. No decisions can be taken under this item. We've got, have we got members of the public?
There's one lady, Hilary Dore.
Hilary Dore, do you have anything to say at all?
No,
you would like to say
no,
anything?
nothing tonight, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for attending tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, item 5, the mayor's announcements. I believe the mayor has actually sent out an email to each person detailing her engagements over the last few weeks. Has everybody received that? Okay, thank you. Item 6 is the town clerk's report. To receive and note the town's clerk's report, that's on pages 7 to 8. Do you want to speak on that, Sandra, at all?
The only thing I wanted to add, I did circulate to you later today an overview of the data to do with the e-scooter trial.
Yeah.
But that's all. I will add that in as that we've received that, so it goes on to public record.
Okay. Okay. Anybody got any questions on the town clerk's report? Okay.
No.
Do we have any proposer to?
Yeah, sorry, can I say something, please?
Sorry, yes,
Councillor?
sorry. Yep. Councillor Brigmore, sorry, yep.
It was interesting, the e-scooter report, in as much as a lot of journeys have been done, but all we see is kids running around on them all the time. I go out on my push bike and all I see is kids riding them around. Now, but I thought that the whole idea of the e-scooter was that it removes congestion, helps the environment, and everything else. I would like to know if it's possible to ask the person responsible for it at the county council, or the unitary as it is now, exactly what benefits the e-scooter is giving to anybody. My daughter lives in Risdon and lives next to a park, and all she sees it all night is kids running up and down on it, because seemingly if you've got a Go Henry credit card, seemingly you can start these scooters with a Go Henry credit card. I see no benefit of these scooters at all, other than it gives the kids something to do extra in the evenings.
Okay, thank you.
I
for
will
that.
ask that question. You do have to produce driving license, and I, actually, because I've used
No, you
it.
don't. You don't. They get around it. There is a way of getting around it.
Okay.
There
Having
is a
used,
way.
having used it, I did have to, and then I had to do a selfie, and then it went
Yeah,
off and checked.
yeah.
Yeah.
There is ways of getting
Yeah.
around it.
Okay.
And all you see is young kids. I mean, the other day we saw a 10-year-old kid riding up and down on the road.
Was it one of the orange ones? Because I have seen some on private ones as
No,
well.
it was one of the orange
Yeah.
ones.
Right. If you give us the number plate, we can report them on, because that's
Yeah.
what the strike process
I
is.
have-
But I'll ask that question, and obviously at some point there will be a review of the trial,
Yeah.
which
But
hopefully
I,
the council can.
I would like to know exactly what the trial, what they aim to benefit from placing all these scooters everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I know on the license, I mean, there's been issues with that, but I think the police are aware of the of people, you know, downloading licenses that don't belong to them, I believe, isn't there? There's been some issues of that. But I think they've been made aware of that, haven't they, Sandra?
Yeah, they have been made
Yeah,
aware.
I fully understand that, Chris. But
Yeah.
the
No, I know. Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah.
Is the point of the scooters to allow kids to run around town with them all day long,
No.
or is the point of the scooters to save the environment? Well, if it's aimed to save the environment, it's certainly not doing that.
Well, they're supposed to be 18 years of age. Otherwise,
they're
it's
not.
illegal not to do it and have a provisional driver license. So anything
Yeah.
other than that, it's illegal.
If you could ask them questions, please,
Yeah.
Sandra. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Councillor Jackson.
Thank you. If you look at the report on the scooters, the e-scooters, there's a footnote at the bottom that states they claim quite a few journeys have saved motorists having to go to wherever in their motor car. It would be, just to add on to what Councillor Brigmore just said, it would be best to ask how they justify that claim that they have saved a lot of car journeys. Thank you.
I will know. I have got some data, because they give free rides to the NHS workers, and there is some data on how many rides have been made by NHS workers as well, which wasn't in that report. But I'll go back and ask those questions ready for the next meeting.
Okay.
And also,
Councillor-
by the way, everybody, just one quick one. By the way, I am having a lot of problems with my internet tonight,
Yeah.
so
You're a bit dark tonight as well, Barry.
I'm always been dark.
Councillor Whiting. You're on mute.
Yeah,
You're on
right. Okay, sorry. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. My concern is you see the parents, they get the scooters out, and then you see them going down the wreck with 3 or 4 children all taking the turn on it.
Yeah.
My question is, do they have a tag on so that they know where they're being left? Because you see them all over the town, all
Yes.
over everywhere, on
Yeah.
estates and everywhere. So can they check where they are when they go and collect them up?
Yes, because if you have the app, it will tell you where they are if you want to use one. So they are all tagged. They're on
Right, okay,
GPS.
thank you.
sorry, can I ask another question
Yes,
to
yes,
Sandra,
certainly,
please?
Councillor
So,
Pridmore,
also,
yeah.
Sandra, I have also noticed both on the app and on the actually when I cycle around town that several scooters are left in exactly the same place and are being left in people's gardens as well.
Okay.
And I'd like to know if there's any data that they can tell us that the same scooter or a scooter is being left in exactly the same place constantly all the time. Because if it is, then either the same person is using it, which goes against the whole principle of it, or, well, whatever. If you could ask them questions for
Yeah.
me, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we have a proposer to propose we accept those? Councillor
Yeah,
Pridmore?
I'll propose it.
Yes, and a seconder? Councillor Brown, thank you. All in favour? Any against at all? No? Okay, thank you very much. We go on to item 7, which is an opportunity for councillors to ask questions pursuant to Standing Order 9. These questions must relate to business of the Town Council and not be related to items of business on the agenda. Every question shall be put and answered without discussion. Does anybody have any questions at all? No? Okay, thank you very much. We move on to item 8, which is reports of representatives to other bodies. This is to receive reports from councillors on meetings that they have attended as representatives to other bodies. Councillor Gardner, thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. I've been a bit busy this month. On the 23rd, I attended the last PCC meeting with Stephen Mould and Nick Appleby. There were over 60 representatives from various councils across the East Northants region, and it was really informative. But the details that affect us in the Rushden and Higham area, and I say the Rushden area because currently Steph, our PCSO, has to patrol all the way up to Melloway in Rushden. So Rushden and Higham will be getting a new PCSO to join her, so she can stay more Higham based, so she can concentrate, because what she is finding extremely frustrating is that she's involved with something here and then gets called away all the time. So in the next coming months, we're going to have a new PCSO and a new police officer, and they will be both working out of the Rushden police and fire station in the coming months. So that's really good news for us, and that's what affects us at that level. I also have as the police liaison rep, a penciled in meeting on the 22nd, and this is with NCAL to discuss the role and how it can be beneficial to the councils, and it's going to be up to the individual councillor to make the best of it. And it looks like I'll be doing exactly what I have been doing for the last 2 years, only this time with the title. So that's kind of it. I'm just going to carry on doing what I normally do. On police matters, again, I joined PCSO Stephanie Bacon on her rounds, and we've had quite a few incidences in Higham, and they're basing around graffiti at the moment. This graffiti, if anyone sees any graffiti that is racist, please either take a photo and report it immediately. We are having a spate of racist, really quite nasty swastikas, etc. graffiti in our town, and we need this stamped out ASAP. It's not tolerable and it's not okay. The good news is on that CCTV images have been seen or they've been got, and that is now being investigated. I will tackle the small subject of e-scooters. E-scooters are being used. Unfortunately, they are being used as drug running up and down our greenway. They have been spotted going to known vehicles to collect drugs and run them up and down. I have personally seen images and witnessed this. Steph has spoken to the Rolton Group. Their car park, unfortunately, is now a hotspot and is being used. So intel is being gathered in order to try and get this stopped ASAP. As far as the suspicions going around on how they do get e-scooters, if you go onto Google Images, you can get a driving license, and it is easy as that, I am afraid. And I have this on very good authority. I took it with a pinch of salt, I've got to be honest, and then asked said child to go out and do it, and it really is as easy as that. And you don't need a lot of know-how to do it. So this really does need to be thought about. And I have gone through it with Steph. So she has taken all that information back, and she's actually going to go through it, how they do it with her sergeant. So hopefully that can be witnessed and seen. So that'll be good if that happens. So that was me for this month. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Gardner. Yeah, so on the licences, I knew about that because I think as Councillor VJ Paul told me on Saturday at the market that his 12-year-old showed him how to do it, I believe. Is that right, VJ? Yeah.
It is.
On that.
Technologically inept as I am, my 12-year-old had to educate me, and I was a bit surprised that it was so easy. But no, we tried it out, and yes, it was first go, no issues at all.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that report. Does anybody else? Just that one. Thank you. Next, item 9 is if we've got any reports from district councillors or county councillors. We've got Councillor Pentland here. I don't know whether you've got anything, a report you want to relay at all, Councillor Pentland?
Well, obviously we're in PERDA at the moment.
Yes.
But
yeah.
I've before PERDA started, I was attending council meetings as per usual,
Okay.
and keeping myself busy. So
Okay.
I'll leave it there. But thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, item 10 is finance.
Excuse me, I've got my hand up.
Sorry, Councillor Jackson, beg your pardon.
No problem. Obviously, it should be a written report. I have it written down here. Once I've read it out, I will then pass it on to our town clerk.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Right. I attended the Royston, in fact, with yourself and our town clerk, the Royston East meeting on the 15th of March.
Yeah.
In the chair was Stephen North. He ran through the minutes of the meeting held on the 15th of February. Item 4.2, it was noted that Higham Ferrers do not have an allotment society, and so therefore, if they acquire an allotment, then they would manage the facility plot, and there is a plot available closer to Higham Ferrers. Item 7.3 needed rewording from would serve Rushden and Higham, as the cemetery plot was only large enough for Rushden, so therefore Higham Ferrers would require funding to create their own cemetery, which is a movement forward from what we've been having previously. This next item is not in the minutes. I therefore suggest that we obtain a plan showing non-duchy ownership of land so that the new council, when it is formed in May, can try and find suitable sites, possibly off the Newton Road, non-duchy land, obviously. So therefore it will be on the right-hand side of the Newton Road as you go out towards Gelveston. Councillor Stephen North thanked officers and members involved in the Rushden East Sue for all their hard work and advised that a number of working parties and the Rushden East had been put forward to the unitary authority. The meeting ended at 3:15. So obviously at this moment in time, I haven't been able to find out who is going to be leading once it becomes unitary, but possibly our town clerk can put this question to them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Jackson, for that. Okay, thank you. We can move on to item 10 is finance. 10.1 is to approve the accounts for payment as at the 30th of March. That's on page 9 of the agenda. Okay, do we have a proposer for that at all?
And you had an updated one come out this
Yes,
morning.
the updated one for
yeah.
March. Yes, we've had that. Yes. Councillor Whiting,
Yeah, I'm happy to propose that the payments are paid.
okay, thank you. And a seconder, Councillor Jackson, all in favour? Any against? No, okay, thank you. 10.2 is to approve the bank account reconciliation as at the 28th of February. Yeah, 28th of February. Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor
Yeah.
Whiting? Okay.
I'd like to say that I have checked it, Mr. Deputy Mayor, and it is okay, as usual.
Yep, thank you very much. And the seconder? Okay, Councillor Gardner. And all in favour? Any against? Okay, thank you very much. Lauren. 10.3 is to receive and note the budget report as at the 28th of February. This is on pages 10 to 14 of our agenda. Has anybody got anything to ask about that one? Okay, do we have a proposer to accept that? Councillor Whiting, seconder. Councillor Prigmore, thank you very much. All in favour? Anybody against? Thank you very much. And item 10.4 is to approve the following expenditure. This is on page 15 of the agenda, which is the annual membership of Northants ACRE at £35. Do we have a proposer for that? Proposed, Councillor Jackson, Councillor Prigmore seconded. And the external decoration of the town hall, which is £1,300. A proposer for that?
There's two quotes there.
Yes, sorry, there's one quote, but then there's I've already got one quote on mine.
There's two quotes. There's one, quote A is 2,640, quote B is 1,300. And
Oh, right, okay.
they're both people we've used before, and I have gone back to quote B just to clarify everything matched, and it did. So
Yeah, okay.
there's no reason not to use him. And he's
Yes.
increased his public liability insurance because they're both contractors didn't have sufficient, but he's just gone and done that anyway.
So we'll go for the we've got a proposal for the one to accept the quote at £1,300. Is that Councillor Prigmore?
Yeah.
And the seconder, Councillor Redding. Thank you. All in favour? Any against? No, thank you. And then item 3, that additional fencing in the second gate to the dogs off lead area, which is £795. Councillor Jackson. And seconder?
No, I need to
Sorry.
speak, please.
Okay then, carry on. Sorry. Councillor Prigmore?
Whilst I was down there a little while ago, one of the comments was made to me was that they wanted the second fence in order to stop the dogs going through the first fence and then running onto the road, just in case. Is that what this second fence is for? Whereabouts is this second fence?
Yeah.
I think I'll let Alicia speak on this one.
Yes, the additional fencing in the second gate is to work in conjunction with the first gate. So there's like a double entry system onto the dogs off lead area, and it is being done to do exactly what you said, Councillor Prigmore, stop dogs running onto the road. It will basically give a holding bay.
Yes, that's what the person who spoke to me said, that's what they would like, because the cars come down there so fast and sooner or later someone's going to get knocked. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
When I was thinking about a little while ago that the people from the dogs off lead group were going to contribute some money towards this, or
That was a question I was going to ask.
Yes, they have raised the £795 that will meet the full cost of the installation. So the money is being transferred and we're just seeking the approval of the expenditure.
okay, so the
So
795.
there's no cost to the council.
No, that's the 795 from the actual dogs off lead party
Yes.
group. Yep. Okay, thank you. Any questions on that at all? So have a proposer to accept that that job
I
goes ahead.
propose that.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Jackson. Seconder, Councillor Prigmore. All in favour? Okay. Anybody against? No. Thank you. Right. We're going to the Heritage Trail Interpretation Panel on the Market Square, which is £1,895. Has anybody got any questions on that one? Councillor Prigmore?
We've got the cost of installing it, but we haven't got the cost of running it and the cost of any future. Are we having a
Budget?
A budget? Are we having a repair costs on it? Or are we just having it stand there and call them in if it busts?
Whether the town clerk can enlighten us on that, can you?
I mean, Alicia sourced this, but it'll be a standalone notice board, just like the one next to it. They're very robust and it's not electronic, so it doesn't need any running costs. I mean, our notice boards we have don't tend to need any maintenance.
Okay.
Right, sorry, I misunderstood. I misunderstood it. Then I thought it was electric.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, apologise.
Okay.
No, it's an
happy with
angled
that,
in-
proposer for that.
I
Councillor
propose.
Redding and seconder, Councillor Jackson. Thank you. All in favour? Against? Okay, we'll carry forward. Thank you. Item 11 is committee meetings, and this is to receive and adopt the minutes of the following committees. 11.1, which is the Planning and Development Committee, which was held on the 16th of March, also via Zoom. Copy on your agenda is pages 16 to 18, and Councillor Garden is to present these minutes, I believe.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I take you, no, I won't. I'll start again. To receive the notes of the Planning and Development Committee held on Tuesday, 16th of March. Have a proposed,
Okay, do we have a
please?
seconder? Councillor Brown,
Thank you.
all in favour?
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
5.1.
21/00106/FUL, which is a two-storey extension at 88 Wharf Road, Hynd Ferries. And it was resolved that the council object to the extension. It is a substantial two-storey extension and considered too dominant and overbearing in size. It is 5.2 in length and its width is greater than the existing width of the property. The size will have a significant impact on both neighbours, particularly those of the adjoining property at number 86, and it will create overshadowing with the loss of privacy and light to the rear of the properties and back gardens. 21/00137/FUL, and this was the change of use from residential to osteo and physiotherapy of the sports clinic at 11 Market Square. And the council do not object to the principle of the change of use, but comment on regarding the available car parking. And you can read there, we was talking about remembrance, sparkle, etc., and that we had asked for them to promote alternative means of travel to the clinic to make sure that the car park is not clogged up. 21/00242/PNA. And this is a prior notification approval. And this was for the L-shaped agricultural building at OP6600SP9669 at Stanwick Road, Hynd Ferries. And you can see there that we did talk about this, but in the end, it was already agreed prior to us coming to the table at Planning and Development. But we did object. We thought it would be the impact on the town green and adjacent to Green Farm, but it was taken out of our hands. The next one down is 21/00061/FUL, which was the erection of the two-storey side extension and conversion of existing garage to habitable space, including the installation of new bifold doors to the south elevation, and this was the resubmission of 20/01327/FUL at 72 Windermere Drive in Higham Ferries. The assistant clerk reported that the planning officer had now secured the agreement of both ward councillors to deal with the application under delegated powers, and the case stated that there was no longer requirement for any comment or further action from Town Council. 5.2, and this is to receive and note the following tree works, as you can see listed. 5.3 was the following determinations of the planning applications. And 5.4 was the East Northants consultation. And after reviewing the draft consultation and all the supplementary planning documents, we had no comments to be made and it was received. Item number 6 was the clerk's report. And this was the 20-mile-an-hour advisory sign. Now, this was an update from Jason Smithers, the Cabinet Member for Place, Highways and the Environment. And you can read there about the temporary proposals of the 20-mile-an-hour advisory speed signs in the villages. And our next meeting is going to be the 13th of April. Do I have any questions before I move adoption of these minutes? Councillor Pridmore.
As reference the clerk's report on the 20 miles per hour advisory speed, how long is the pilot going to go on for? And when will we be invited to put our views forward?
I'm not aware of that. I will ask that question of Councillor Smithers.
Okay, thank you.
If there's nothing else, please can I move adoption of the planning and development minutes?
Okay, we have a seconder, Councillor Jackson. And all in favour?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Gardner, for that. Okay, so we move on to item 11.2, which is the Environment and Recreation Committee, which also held on the 16th of March via Zoom. That's on pages 19 to 20. I've got Councillor Redding to present the meetings on that, minutes on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Can I move that the minutes of the meeting of the Environment and Recreation Committee held on whatever the date was, the 16th of March 2021 be received?
And do we have a seconder? Councillor Gardner, all in favour? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Most of it's sort of self-explanatory, I think, as we go through. We've got 2 resolved to recommend. One is item number 6, which is be close boundary hedge and access to the open space to the rear. And we resolve to recommend to the full council that a licence with an annual fee of £25 be granted the residents of number 25 Be Close, that the licence permits the removal of the hedge and installation of a fence to block off the access to the open space.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so just a proposer to...
Can I have a question on that, please?
A question on that? Okay, Councillor Pridmore.
It states on it that the licence permit the removal of the hedge and installation of a fence to block off access to the open space. It doesn't say whether the council are paying or the resident.
Okay, but,
It's a council, isn't it?
well, the license is written in such a way that it will permit the resident will pay, the council won't be doing it.
Okay, thank you.
I know that's probably not clear in the license, it will be clear that's what would be expected.
Right, okay, thank you.
Okay, let's have a proposer for that we accept. And Councillor Pridmore, seconder. Councillor Redding, thank you very much. All in favour? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. And the second resolve to recommend is number 7 on the minutes, which is the upgrade of path to tennis courts We resolve to recommend that a budget of £9,000 be set to allow for the upgrade of the path by the tennis courts, improve ramp access and renovation of concrete area, plus to be met from S106 reserve for off-site recreation.
Can I just intervene here, Councillor Redding, because there was a query, read the specification of the works concrete area. The quotes you had at the meeting were for tarmac, which is the cheapest option. And I know Councillor Jackson suggested it should be slabs, but if council wants slabs, you're looking to set a budget of more like 10,500. And to get the levels, to get it level, because the tarmac would probably be better.
Okay.
Just so you're aware of that before you vote.
Okay, so it's tarmac and not concrete. Yeah. Is there any comments on that at all? Any questions on that? Okay, so we have a proposer for that, for the upgrade of the path at a budget of £9,000. Councillor Redding, and a seconder, Councillor Brown, and all in favour of that. Any against? Councillor Gardner, are you in favour? In favour, Councillor Gardner? Which is froze. Froze.
You're
Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Froze.
She's gone again, I think.
I think she's gone. Okay.
Right.
Chairman, can I say that I abstained on that because
yeah, okay, thank you.
I'm not 100% happy that it'll be a patio in paving slabs and then the other half, just as it goes up to the cabin, will be in tarmac, which seems a bit of a shame because that was going to be one of the communal areas. But anyway.
Okay. Councillor Gardner, were you in favour? Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
so there was just one abstention then. Anybody against?
Councillor Spencer's got his hand up.
Yeah, sure. Councillor Spencer. You need to go off mute.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Further to Councillor Jackson's comments, I would like to abstain as well on that because I think tarmac could be an ongoing problem.
Okay. So in that case, for voting for it, we've got was it 7 councillors for?
Yeah, you've got a majority because you've got 2 abstentions.
Majority and 2 abstentions. So so that's carried forward at £9,000 budget.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you.
The rest of the minutes are, I think, self-explanatory. We may have to explain number 8 was the use of the castle fields for a circus. This was brought to us at fairly short notice, and a request was made by a circus to be on the castle fields on between the 24th of May and 31st of May, and the committee decided that was far too close to the raising of some of the restrictions, and we weren't fully unrestricted. I think the general feeling was that later on, possibly July or onwards, we might have been receptive to having there, but we had a distinct feeling that we were almost guinea pigs, and we didn't feel very comfortable with that. And I think the circus was informed very shortly after our meeting that we wouldn't be allowing it to go ahead. I think, as I say, I think the rest of that is fairly
we've got the
explanatory. So if there aren't any other questions, I don't see any hands up. So
well, there was item 12, items report. I don't know whether was.
Oh yeah, I think. Well, I don't know. Maybe the clerk might, because Sandra was going to consider how best to bring this matter forward to the council meeting, but I think it might have been too short a notice to put it on the agenda, Sandra.
To be honest, I've got quite a lot on my plate at the moment. I haven't had time to
Okay.
consider that.
All right.
If I'm being honest.
I think this Councillor Gardner has raised this with the
At the
police
JAG meeting,
at
yeah.
the JAG meeting, so it is being dealt with
Yeah.
that way. We may need a more coordinated approach with the council and other groups, but until we can work that out, we'll have to wait until probably next month.
Okay.
The date, the next meeting will be the 18th of May, which will obviously be with a new council. And at the end of this, I'd like to move adoption of the minutes of the meeting of the Environment and Recreation Committee.
Do you have a seconder for that? Councillor Brown, all in favour? Okay, thank you. Anybody against? No, thank you. Okay. Item 12 is to receive an update from the clerk on the current status and services of the facilities delivered by the town council regarding COVID-19, which we have actually received in the last day. COVID update. I don't know whether the town clerk wants to expand on that at all.
No, I think in
It's pretty
terms of
self-explanatory.
it is, but I think I need to flag up. Obviously, there's this issue with virtual meetings, which is still ongoing. So
Yeah.
I am now starting seriously planning how we will do face-to-face when the town hall isn't big enough, certainly for full council meetings. And also at the same time, we've got to be able to broadcast that to members of the public. So I have got some work to do on that, but I'm still hopeful that the High Court action may prove that we can still do virtual meetings for the time being, well, at least until 21st of June. Because I may well have to consider whether we actually hold committee meetings to reduce the fact that we have face-to-face meetings actually increases risk for everybody. So if we can reduce the risk by not holding meetings, we will do. But obviously we have to hold mayor making. We have to hold a meeting in May to sign off the annual accounts, which cannot be delegated to me as an officer. So there is some things we have to do.
Yeah, something. Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Redding, you're on mute at the moment. You're on mute.
Yeah, sorry about that. I thought pressing the space bar would get me out, but it didn't.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, I was a bit disappointed reading this letter from the relevant minister that it doesn't seem that we were even able to have hybrid meetings. And I agree with Sandra that even June, although all the restrictions are supposed to, it's still, they're still talking about having to socially distance for some months, if not years. From what I read of this, they're going to be trying to do some form of consultation about it. So I suspect that what we need to do as a council is possibly come to some sort of decision. So when they go out for consultation, that we can put forward our views as strongly as possible, which may not be in the line of mine, which is for a hybrid meeting, but that's something we can possibly discuss at a later time. I don't know whether Sandra's got any better idea than any more than what this letter has said as to what they're going to be doing.
There is a consultation that's just come out that I will bring to council, but it's one that's got quite a long period. It won't change what's going to happen at the beginning of May, but I think they are looking at what could happen going forward in terms of hybrid meetings. So that is something I will bring to the council. A lot of clerks around the country are writing directly to the minister outlining their objection to not changing the legislation or making the options for virtual meetings at the moment, because like ourselves, there's others that are in the situation where they simply haven't got a room to meet. I mean, I did sort of tongue-in-cheek say to Pam, we'll have to set the gazebos up in the car park, you know, if we have nice weather. But I think I will be doing that and just outlining the circumstances where we are. We're in election year, so we can't bring our meeting forward like some councils will be doing. I mean, they talk about delegating to chief officers and talked about cabinet systems and things. They're just not they're not relevant to our level, and I don't think they quite understand our sector is the problem and the issues this is going to cause. But we will deal with it, and we will, if we have to have a face-to-face meeting, as I said, I've already made arrangements for Mayor making certainly for us to use the Bede House, and we will make that COVID secure for everybody. But obviously there is, if people do not feel safe attending, that is up to them.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you for that. Item 13 is review of delegated powers. To extend the time period of the delegated powers given to the town clerk as a response to the COVID-19 outbreak. Review date June 2021. Right. So basically it's just a carry forward of what we've been doing for the last 12 months, really, I suppose, isn't it?
I think as well, I would ask the council to grant this extension, bearing in mind the uncertainty about whether we need to go back to face-to-face meetings, because it might mean we don't have so many meetings, and then I will have to deal with some of the business. But we've done very well with how we're dealing with it at the moment, and I would suggest, apart from dealing with COVID expenses, as there hasn't been a lot that I've had to deal with under these powers, but I will have to, if we go to hybrid, certainly start looking at some equipment, which I've got Emily on to purchase for the council, so we can broadcast and everybody can be seen and heard from both sides.
Okay, Councillor Prigmore.
Unless anybody's got anything to add to that, I personally feel that Sandra has used any delegatory powers that she has got in a fair and honest way. I would like to propose Councillor Redding.
Councillor Redding at the moment.
Yes, I'll let Councillor Redding.
Yes, let him speak first. Yes.
Sorry, Councillor.
Thank you, Mr. and Councillor Prigmore. I was probably going to be slightly ahead of you there, Councillor Prigmore. But I mean, again, referring back to the letter from the minister, effectively he's allowing us, saying that this is just the sort of action we should take. So I imagine that Councillor Prigmore was about to propose do this, in which case I'll second it.
Yes. Okay. So Councillor Prigmore's proposed it. Councillor Redding's seconded, and are we all in favour of that? Okay. No against. Everybody in favour. Councillor Thomas, yes. Thank you. No, nobody against. No. Okay. Item 14 is the request to the block holes at the dogs off lead area, and this is to consider a response to the request to block the animal holes at the dogs off lead area. Page 20. What's this, page 20? Well, I've got page 20 on my agenda. Dogs off lead area, but we've also got something there from Richard Gell, who's done an email report on it apparently. So it's to agree in response to the request to block off the holes. Councillor Redding.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Actually, I think Councillor Gardner and Councillor Jackson were ahead of me, but there is a saying, I think, that you shouldn't shovel snow while it is snowing, which is really what's happening here. We could spend the rest of our lives filling in these holes. The rabbits will create them, and even when they're filled in, the dogs will dig them down, because what they can smell is rabbit. So as Richard Gell said, we're on a complete loser. The only way we'll be able to deal with this would be to concrete the whole edge of the field, which is a complete no. So I think I would say that we don't do anything about it.
Councillor Gardner, did you want to say on it? Councillor Gardner.
Oh, thank you. I'm fighting with my microphone. It does what it says on the tin, as an advert used to say. Dogs off lead area, countryside. No more needs to be said. Leave it alone. If you do not want your dog to get dirty, please take it on a concrete patch. and let others enjoy frolicking around in the mud that they create. Please leave it alone. We do not need to be doing anything with this.
Okay.
Richard Gale says it all.
Councillor Prigmore?
My only concern is that I have been down there. I was down there only a few days ago, and somebody is actually filling the holes in with concrete and bricks, which is not an issue because we're not doing it, I hope. But obviously, if injury is caused to the dog whilst it's filled up with concrete and brick, then it may come back at us. So whether we're going to have to remove the bricks out of the hole or not, I'm not quite sure.
Councillor Jackson?
You have to remember, rabbit holes tend to have rabbits at the end of them. So therefore, if you fill them in with bricks, concrete, etc., you're going to have the animal rights people complaining that you've entombed rabbits. For goodness sake, a dog is a certain size, a rabbit is a lot smaller. It'll manage to get its head in, possibly its shoulders in, and after that, there are cases when a very small dog has managed to get right inside. But then again, why on earth what are the owners doing while their dogs are doing all this? I think we should just leave well alone.
Okay, so it's Councillor Spencer.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yes, I agree with all the comments because rabbits, being what they are, as fast as you close one entrance, the following morning there'll be holes elsewhere. It's a complete waste of time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else got anything to say? So we've just got to basically agree on a response, basically, isn't it? So in what we, Councillor Redding, did you?
Oh, okay.
Thank you. I was just going to propose that we do nothing.
Is that the right terminology?
Well, Councillor Jackson.
I was about what we normally propose is that our overworked clerk is asked to send
Yes,
a
I'm going to
reply,
say it's
a suitably worded reply. And she can always blame the councillors.
Yeah.
She can put my name on it.
She does normally.
So the response basically is that you're saying that we don't do anything about it at all.
Yeah.
Councillor Prigmore.
Can I propose then that we leave said area as it is in its natural? It is to be left in its natural state and not
Natural
to
habitat.
be messed about with. That's my proposal.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a proposal from Councillor Prigmore. Do we have a second to Councillor Redding? And are we all in favour in that respect? Anybody against that? No, everybody in favour. Thank you. Okay, so we can move on to item 15, which is the Town Working Party. This is to receive and note the minutes of the Town Working Party held on the 24th of March, also via Zoom. We've got the agenda, it says to follow, we've got that now, the minutes for that, and I believe Councillor Gardner is going to present those.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. To receive the minutes of the Highland Ferries Town and Farmers Working Party. Can I have a proposer, please? Thank you. Can I have a seconder?
No.
Thank you.
All in favour?
Fab, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'll take you down to item 2, which is the update on the app. The app has been very well received so far, with businesses happy to be included. We've been talking about the advertising rollout, which is going to be posters, boards and banners and flyers that will start getting distributed to houses in preparation for the April reopening of businesses. We have staff now being trained to manage the app and update listings and keep that updated and relevant. We did talk about Rushden Lakes because that has come up, and we felt that Rushden Lakes has more to offer than just shopping. It has the nature walks and the canoes and things like that. So what we are talking about is having a separate section for them, so they can be included, but just in a separate way. And we are very different to Rushden Lakes. We have the heritage and they have the shopping. It shouldn't be a competition, it's working in a partnership. We went on to item 3, talk about the farmers market. We talked about some charity stalls that are wishing now to come on board, and we were going to be introducing them as restrictions around the farmers market start to get lifted, and it's a more relevant thing to do. Advertising for 2021, we're going to keep the advertising the same. We were not comfortable to think about advertising further afield. We thought it was just too early in the day to start advertising further afield and bringing too many visitors in. We didn't want to be accused of giving a spike or a trend anywhere, and this can be redressed again this time next year. We have a waiting list, which is really good. A little while ago, we was really worried because we didn't have a waiting list, but now we do. And that's really positive, and we're getting more inquiries all the time. So on the back foot of people working from home, they've also started little businesses as well. So we'll see what comes out of that waiting list, and it will be all farmers market related. Love Your Local Market, that's on hold at the moment, obviously, and we don't have any more news than that. So we'll just have to wait and see, but that will not be going ahead in its normal form. Reopening the high street, we had loads and loads and loads of ideas, but we are well aware now we are in Purdaland, so most of them are going to be on hold. So it will be up to Town Council to advertise on Facebook and website. Normally what we did last time is the mayor went out and did photos, etc., and that's not going to be an option this time. Update on the film. Julie passed all the information on, and they are talking about a script and everything. A Heritage Day is now planned for the 19th of September, and Rushden are very eager to carry on with that. So we're looking towards working in a partnership, and we're hoping that we know that there is a lot of workload going on at the moment, but hopefully this can be, because it is always a positive event and it's a well-attended event. So hopefully that will continue. The recommendation that we look at this next year, and it will be in a joint effort with Rushden Town Council. So can I just clarify with the clerk, please, that can I ask for council at this point if they are happy for that to go ahead?
Yes, we need that so we can start planning. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
So we've got a seconder for the Heritage Day, and all in favour for that. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'll just take you on to the links with Rushden Lakes. We are very keen and eager to carry on with the links, and it's something that the Mayor and I have discussed along with Sandra. And any other business, we talked about the recovery through enterprise scheme. Now that's the little shop, and it's up at the top near the Heavenly Desserts and the cinema, and it's a little shop that's opened up there. We visited it before lockdown, Sandra and I, and that eventually what the idea was to have somebody from the council there to talk about Higham Ferries, to promote Higham Ferries and what we do and who we are, and hopefully that can go on, and that can come to something, because it's such an opportunity. It really is. The co-op refit, and that's going to be closed for 3 weeks for a refit, and we're trying to help get them temporary accommodation so they can still deliver food and everything that the community is going to need. Mayor's Market, it will be held probably later on, and again, as all things, not in the form that it has been, but hopefully that can go forwards, because I would really like our Mayor to have a lot more than she's currently been able to do. The last thing I'd like to say is we talked about, obviously, Judith Oilcraft leaving us, and that's Rushden as well, but thanking Julie for all the hard work and effort that she's done, and the enthusiasm that she's done everything with. And I'd like that noted in the minutes, please, Sandra, that we really are grateful. And this is the last of our meeting, but hopefully with the new council and with all the recommendations and ideas that we've been able to do in these last couple of years, a new council will forge forward and do her and us proud. Thank you. Those are notes. Can I ask adoption, please, if any other questions? Councillor Reading, sorry, I'm taking over.
Councillor Redding.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to go back to, I think it was item 2 that Angela mentioned about the Higham app. I was actually slightly disappointed with it, but I think my youngest son is probably, I've got I've sent 2 messages from where he's currently living in North London. And I'll just read through the 2. The Higham app is disappointing, quite a poor offering from a company that is meant to specialise in town apps. Looks like something I made when I was first messing around with making apps. The content isn't the problem. The UI, which I think is user interface, and UX, which I'm not quite sure what that is horrible. It's so hard to navigate and just browse local businesses, which is what it is for. If you have to click on 3 different categories to see a shop, then it is not worth the advertising money for the shop. Just get them to look at the Android App Store to see how to do a category-driven app. So a lot of that I didn't fully understand, and I really ought to get hold of him. But my youngest son has been trying to write some apps and a similar sort of things. So I do take on board his criticism to somewhat. It may be something we may need to point at the company designing it, although I know we're not the lead group on this. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Redding.
Thank you. Do you want to add anything to that, Sandra, or are we just going to?
I mean, I think certainly in terms of categories, I mean, it's something we can amend sort of going forward, because we can set up categories, and I think some of them will move about as we get used to using it a bit more. So I can see what it's made is it's because some businesses fall across more than one category, but I think we can look at that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, yeah. Okay, well.
If there's no other questions, can I move adoption of the minutes, please?
Okay, do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Redding, all in favour?
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to move on to item 16, which is to receive and note the minutes of the Charter Working Party, which is held on the 11th of March via Zoom. That's copies on pages 22 to 23. Do we have anybody to propose that we accept those minutes? Councillor Redding, seconder, Councillor Prignall, all in favour? Thank you very much. Item 17 is consultation on the pavement licence. And this is to consider a response to the consultation on the pavement licence of the Garrison, which is a gentleman's hair tailors, it says, hairdressers, hair tailors, 1C Wharf Road, Higham Ferris. We have got some drawings and some been sent to us and diagrams of measurements, etc. Has anybody got any questions on that at all? Councillor Whiting.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy. I thought this was a gentleman's hairdresser's, not a chance to just go and sit and drink and, you know, sit outside drinking outside of school. I'm sorry, but no.
Yeah. Councillor Brown. Councillor Brown, you'd like to unmute? You'd like to unmute?
I agree with my fellow councillor who's just spoken. I just can't see this working somehow, especially like it's been mentioned in the school. But I mean, when these places open, surely you'll be making appointments for gentlemen's hairdressers, I would have thought.
Yeah.
And if all this is all over the pavement, you're going to get people sitting there, then other people are going to come and talk to them. and before you know where you are, the pavement's going to be blocked.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Brown. Councillor Spencer on that.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Yeah, I agree with both the councillors' comments there. I'm against it myself. I think two reasons. One, I've studied the measurements they've given, but that's great when the bench is against the wall and the stool or seat is fully in. But as we all know, when you're sitting, it's going to be like this. And I think the measurement from the back of that to the curb will be greatly exceeded. Also, I feel that this could set a precedent where, if we're not careful, Iron could end up looking like the south of France or Italy. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where we gave a license inside, and now it's sort of like, it just feels like you give them an inch and they say, do you want to take a mile, sort of type of thing, or a few extra yards on the pavement, as it were. But has anybody else got anything to comment on that? Okay. So to consider a response to the consultation, do we have any proposals of a response for that at all from anybody? Councillor Whiting?
I'd like to propose that we oppose it. I think we're totally against it. It's just not good for the town.
Okay, thank you. Seconder?
I'll second.
Councillor Thomas?
Yes, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, did you want to say, Mr. Councillor Jackson? I didn't want you.
No, so I was going to, but it was taken on, so no point.
Okay, all right. Sorry, yeah. Okay then.
What's the proposal?
The proposal is Councillor White is proposing against the application for.
What reasons?
Well, the reason she gave was because of the location. The area it was going to, I think, believed to fill the pavement. There wouldn't be too many, not enough room out there, block the pavement. Is that right?
It's too close to the school, and it's a gentleman's
right,
hairdressers, not a pub.
Yeah, it's just that the proposal was it wasn't good for the town. Well, that's not.
No, well, it's
we
not.
need to put reasons as to why, which I'm sure
you've got to
that,
give good reasons. Yeah,
I'm sure that Sandra could come up with.
Yeah.
Elaborate that a
So
bit,
we've got a
please.
proposal from Councillor White and a seconder from Councillor Thomas, and all in favour of the proposal that it's refused. Okay. Anybody against? No. Any abstentions? No. So that's carried. That that's the response to that is that we refuse that. Okay.